What's up, me Randigas? We're back with another Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 video. Now, I decided to make this video ranking the best character from each Persona game. This way I feel like in the future when I'll do every Persona game ranking, this will like help me gauge them more appropriately and how the series themselves are, the characters in their series. So, I picked obviously P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, I have made an error. I have fixed the error. Persona 2, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, obviously. So, let's start with Persona 1. Let's pick up Maki. Now, here's the thing. Persona 1, overall, I like to, sometimes over-exaggerate stuff and have fun here and there. So, I like attack P1. It has issues, but I don't think the story is one of them. And the characters can be problematic if they're characters for like side characters that are not in the main story itself. Let me explain. By the way, spoilers for every Persona game, obviously. So when you play Persona 1, you have two routes: the SEBC Sabak, I like to say Sabak route, and the Snow Queen quest. So each they're individual stories, but not just individual stories in sense that if you play Sabak route once you're done, and if you play Snow Queen quest once you're done. Not like that. So you have multiple character choices. There are fixed character slots. So in this case, you have whatchamacallit is the MC, Maki, Nanjo, and Masao, the Masao Inaba. But then you have character choices you can pick, like Ellie and stuff like that. So that's how Persona 1 works. You have multiple characters to pick in the SABEC route and the Snow Queen quest. And obviously it's not like you can change them. It's like they at the end of the story they're with you. So this adds a lot of playtime and additional playtime, but I also feel like this adds an issue with other characters that are additional slots. Is because obviously they're additional slots, they have impact on the story, but at the end of the day the main characters are what impact the story. The story doesn't change that much at all, only dialogues change. So I feel like in the future if they remake it, linked episodes could help those characters. But let's talk about Maki. I think the way they made her the reveal villain, so again spoilers as I said, the way they made her the reveal villain makes an impressive way to show, yeah, that's how you do it. This is one of the best reveal villains out there. The reason is they add throughout the game, they add these little kids that are basically her little kids, where you have to talk to them. One of them is evil, you fight them. One of them is good, but it's she's lost her pet, so you talk to her. There's a lot of options there. They add a lot of character to her, and it shows that how Maki feels being in the bed, being the hospital bed, and she wants this ideal world, ideal reality. Haha, P5. Ideal reality where the characters she can live with her friends and stuff, but at the same time you see the dark side of that reality. It's this is a very complicated, complex character which they add, but at the same time they express it in a simplistic way that everybody can understand and also be yeah, relate to. The contender for I think second best would be Naoya, the MC, because I feel okay, Naoya is, a lot of people on Twitter are self-insert characters. Naoya is technically a self-insert character. Honestly, he is, because at the end of the game is telling what everybody else did in the future, and there's and then him, you decide. It's basically saying, hey, Naoya is you. It's basically calling Naoya you. So the Naoya is a really good character, but I feel Maki takes the cake with how emotional everything gets, and how it's yeah, the other main characters are okay, Maki, Nanjo's okay, Maki, you can either stay here and die, or stand up and fight. And Maki gets up and stuff like that, and you understand that, hey, Nanjo sure doesn't understand it, but Maki understands that she gotta do something. So I feel the Maki is really good. I feel if they ever they will eventually, if they remake P1, when they remake P1, a lot of these characters would be top tier, I feel because they Atlas will add a lot of stuff to them. All right, let's go to number 2 from Persona 2 Innocent Sin. Let's talk about Jun. I thought maybe I should Tatsuya was in my mind in Innocent Sin, but Tatsuya is good, but I feel Jun does really, really well. Okay, this guy, I feel like is like has the curse of being the last party member in a Persona game. That means less screen time. However, they didn't do that mistake completely. So this guy is the Joker, not to be confused with the P5 Joker. This guy is the Joker, the villain of P2. Not the main villain, but those who have played and understand what I'm trying to say. So you go through like the dungeons and the mazes, and you feel like, okay, you see this character Jun, and now you're understanding him more. And then you're also seeing like the backstory with Tatsuya, and like you understand how this character is being developed, and like it's a build up to Jun. Like the game even doesn't try to hide it, because the game understands that, oh, joke, like the players would get that it's Jun. So what they're trying to do is connecting Jun and Joker together, but at the same time they're building up to it. Like, let's give him a backstory with Tatsuya. Let's give him a backstory with all the characters. Like in the party, they used to play wearing the Featherman masks. Let's give him with Maya. Let's get like change everything about him and like show him that he was being manipulated, and like then like everything around him like changes throughout. The one thing is, he is the last party member. He is a pretty fun character, but like it's more so like they build up to it. He's amazing, but I feel like when he joins the party, they could have added some more character to it. That's why I always bring up linked episodes for like the older Persona games. This guy, like, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. I'll be honest, he doesn't need it. Be blunt. But this guy definitely can shine as Jun more with a linked episode, because he has a lot of depth, like with the whole his mother and father thing. But like if they express it more, that'd be really cool, especially. So this guy is really good. I think a lot of these characters from P2 Innocent Sin are amazing. Tatsuya was a contender for me, but I feel like I don't really think of him like he's good in Innocent Sin. But like, let's talk about Eternal Punishment, because this guy is now. Oh, we messed up. I messed up. It was. Oh my god, I'm spoiling. I didn't even pick up Tatsuya. All right, I'm gonna blur the other characters, but let's talk about Tatsuya from Eternal Punishment. So Tatsuya in Innocent Sin, he's really good. Adds a lot of character to him. Like, it's fun to play with him as the protagonist. He make bike noises. That's awesome. He's a pretty cool dude. But let's talk about Eternal Punishment. So Eternal Punishment is basically, probably one of the most depressing Persona games, or probably the most depressing Persona games. And you see, like, Eternal Punishment also works differently. I meant Eternal Punishment is one of the most depressing. Like, it works differently. So in every other Persona games, like, you're waiting for the reveal villain, right? Who is it? Who is the secret villain doing all of this? Like, you're looking here and there. P1, it's Maki. Innocent Sin, I can't pronounce his name correctly. Nyarlathotep. Like, P3 has Nyx. P4 has Izanami. P5 has Yaldabaoth. But here, the story works differently. It's about, like, when is the reveal villain coming? Because we already know who it is. So, throughout the game, Maya, Katsuya, Baofu, and Ulala are doing their own thing, like solving the crime. But this guy is like out there just Eren Yeager style, menacing everybody, and is like, all right, if you want me to do this now, I'm gonna do this. And that's how you'll show yourself. He like starts doing stuff like that, which is like, damn, he's amazing. And like, you see that pain throughout when he meets Jun, when he meets Aikichi. You see that pain throughout. He's like, man, he's my friend. I want to be with him, but like, I can't. This is the problem. And you see him like fight this. Okay, I know where is he? I know Makoto has like that great seal thing. I know like Narukami's like he's wearing these glasses. They sound like glasses, and he like throws them. I'm not gonna throw him. And then he does Izanagi no Okami Pikaro, and like I don't have my fake gun right now, but like Joker picks out a big gun and shoots. This guy was like fast. This guy was fighting fast. Like, okay, we have seen protagonist feats in Persona games, and I guess, But I feel like this guy also shows him really well, because this guy genuinely is like like dodging bullets and like doing everything in his like strength. He's that guy. But throughout the game, I feel like Eternal Punishment makes him really interesting, especially with the side stories. I feel like them adding those side stories makes him really interesting. These guys are really cool too. But I feel like these guys are really, really good. And then there's like Tatsuya above them. Like, I feel like that's how this works. So let's talk about P3. Hopefully I remember to blur what I just did. So let's talk about Yukari Takeba. Now this one I would say was really hard, because after Reload, I think Makoto is a contender. But like prior to Reload, like I'm considering Reload. The picture is from the PS2 version, but I'm considering Reload. Yukari's like there at one, I'm putting, but like I guess is also a contender for like number one. Let's talk about Yukari. I know a lot of people don't like how she was in Reload in the answer, with like how they toned her down. I feel like I understand that. Me personally, I feel like it adds more realism in a sense, more so like her just being angry, like, all of you are wrong, I need my boyfriend back. But like a lot of people, like, I understand why they love the PS2 version. I would say that a lot of people overhated her. A lot of people hate her too much for the PS2 answer, because here's the thing you gotta understand about P3. This guy is not a saint. Okay, let's talk about it. This guy was constantly losing his mind over, I mean, not little things. I mean, yeah, even little things. He was getting jealous of Makoto. He was constantly losing his mind over like petty things. This guy doesn't even realize that, hey, I'm being used, but he just wants to fight, and he was like making sure others were being used. He was never open about it. Do we really need to talk about her? Do we really need to talk about her? She's like, I'm sorry, she's the biggest manipulator here. Like, I know people are gonna be like she had her reasons. Her dad pointed it out. Like, listen, man, just don't, just be truthful to them. I guess put literal death in him, but like it was reasonable, like you guys understand. And then we have, I will kill you because you killed my mother. Though his reasoning is shown there, but like he's not a saint. And like, are we gonna talk about Mr. I can't control my persona, so I'm still gonna go in, barge in seas, and be like, I'm joining this no matter what. Like, Akihiko, I'm with you. I'm not letting you do this alone. Yeah, W friend, but you killed somebody's mom. Like, these guys are not saints. Like, the only one you can make the argument is Makoto and Fuka. Like, that's it. I mean, I guess Koromaru, yeah, but like, these guys are not saints. And like, Metis is like going on a murder spree. Like, why don't you kill these people? Just saying. So like, a lot of people hate on Yukari is, I feel like, unjust, because here's the thing. She finally got, she was the one. Here's the thing you gotta understand. Yukari, throughout the P3 story, was being lied to by Mitsuru, and like, Kirijo group was the reason her dad died. She was being lied to, being manipulated and controlled by Mitsuru to do this work. And even after she was being lied to, she did still do the work. Like, she was part of Seas, she was fighting shadows, and overall, she didn't do anything. Sure, she had an outburst. Obviously, it's human nature to have an outburst. But then at the same time, it was like, you have these characters around that are like fixing themselves, and Yukari is also fixing themselves. Now what happens is, the one person she truly loves, and the one person that truly understood her, boom, died. Saving her. And especially since Yukari saw Makoto as someone who she wants to save, because Makoto is constantly there saving her. Like the first, first awakening, in the train, in the love hotel, and like stuff like that. And Yukari was always like trying to save Makoto, but she just couldn't. Yeah, they added that scene in Reload, I get it. But then you see like the whole Great Seal, and here's the thing, like, she and nobody else knows what Makoto did there. We as the player know. She didn't know. So like, her outburst makes sense. Now let's talk about Reload. I feel like it's more realistic what they did with Reload, because realistically, if you're gonna have an outburst, you're gonna first have a big outburst, then slowly it will calm down. That's what Reload tried to do, even though I feel like the first outburst could have been way bigger. but then Reload try to calm it down, because it's more so like, when you're doing something and you know it's wrong. What Yukari was doing was wrong. 100%. When you try to do something and you know it's wrong, but you're doing it for selfish reasons, and her reasons were selfish, that is 100% correct. But if you're gonna hate her for that, you gotta hate him, all of these C's members except for like Fuka, Makoto, and I guess Koromaru. But like, if you're like gonna do it for selfish reasons, eventually the guilt catches up to you. It's like, yeah, the guilt is coming to you, and it's more so like, all right, you get calmer and calmer. But the other thing is, I feel like I loved Yukari in the main story because she adds more to it than the other characters, and the story feel connected to her the most. Yeah, I know Mitsuri's there, but like her dad being the one telling like don't catch the shadows, and her connection with Makoto overall, and like everything connected to it. That's why I'm also saying Aigis is a contender. But I feel like the answer actually opens her up and makes her more alive. That's where I want to be like, okay, she is like the best character in P3. But if you're gonna bring up Aigis, because the points that I've shared for Yukari also like match Aigis, you can like say Aigis is number one. Let's talk about P4. There's like, guess it's pretty easy who it is in P4. It's Adachi. Let's talk about him. I picked this face. All right, let's talk about Adachi. Not the main villain of P4, but obviously the best villain of P4. Izanami, I'm sorry, sucks. At this point, Izanami sucks. Alright, so let's talk about the bad, because I feel like they're less. The game could have added more to him to make him not like, don't add that he's like a villain, like make it obvious, but like more connection to him, I feel like would have been even better to like pointing it out that he's the villain. But let's talk about the good. This is where Persona, I feel like, really aces the villains. Not just him, a lot of them. Is where the villains, usually it's shown that, okay, in reality, there are people that will get powers and do good. But there are people, if you go, like, keep them unchecked, and if they get these powers, they'll turn out evil. I think, yeah, in Magatsu Inaba, when, like, he became a killer, Kanji's statement was, why does someone like him gets the power, right? And it's obvious in Persona, getting powers isn't like you need to be good. It's basically accepting yourself. So the whole point was, to Kanji was, why did he get the powers? And I feel like that's where I really love the whole dynamic between him and Narukami, is where it's like it was set up by Izanami. Narukami got his persona, and then this guy got his persona. But like, this guy was like, all right, I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna enjoy with my new toy. I got this power. That means I can do whatever the hell I want with it. And then you have Narukami who was like being responsible with it. I wonder if he would be if he was alone. He would. Narukami would. But at the same time, you see his character more, like how in the past he was like, all right, how like his past shape him up to what he is today. In the past, he had like this whole childhood of he need to be perfect. He need to like be an excellent student. He needs to get a good job. But eventually he realized, well, I never got to have fun. So he joined the police force to get a gun license. So he's like, all right, at least I'll have some fun with it. And then he just gets his persona and he's like, all right, now I'm going to have actual fun with this. And nobody can catch me, because who's going to, like, even if they catch me, what's the evidence for the TV world, right? And I also like that when he loses, he doesn't throw a tantrum. He's just like, all right, you got me. I'm going to play by your rules. I'm going to make sure I get arrested, properly trialed, do my jail time and stuff like that. He does all of that overall, and like his like whole comments on like the murders, the victims he took, like murdered, and I mean he tried to be sexually with them, but murdered, throwing the TV. But like when he talks about them, you hate him so much, but eventually it's fresh. You like him. It's like, damn, he's just like, yeah, I did it for the sake of, because I could do it. That's where I feel like them adding like a character that's like visually like that is more expressive than other characters. And also he also like points out to the main characters, yeah, I'm selfish, but you guys are too. Didn't you do this so you want to be heroes? Like, that's what it is. Yeah, you're trying to be heroes, but you did it for a selfish reason. So are you truly heroes? like, are you truly just when you're doing it for selfish reasons? That is something I really like about like him calling out the main characters, like, hey, you guys are hypocrites, right? You guys see that, right? Like, I'm evil, but you aren't the like model citizens you tell yourself to be. That's why I feel like they nailed him. And man, Revive is coming up. Damn, like his voice actor, if they replace him, this guy's voice actor is also amazing. Let's go to P5 Royal. Oh, these guys are here too. Well, let's go to P5 Royal. And this one is tough because, all right, I'm gonna give you like, guess now in the comments below who it could be. I'm gonna give you 4 options. It's Joker, or it's Akechi, or it's, I mean, spoilers, but Sumire, or it's Maruki. This was a hard choice. Okay, now I'm gonna slowly cut them all out. It's not Sumire. I'm also like how I saw them. So I think Sumire is amazing, but out of these 4, I feel like she is less likely here. Then we'll cut Joker. And this one was hard, but I picked Akechi. You guys can also like Maruki, I think, is in the table, on the table. I have some issues with Maruki. I feel like right now let's just talk about Akechi. All right. I played the OGP5 and also played the Royal. So, damn, I hit the table. Akechi as a villain in the whole OGP5 thing. As a villain, he's really good, but he's not amazing, and you don't like. He leaves an impression, but it's like afterwards there's like Shiro, and I feel like he leaves more as an impression, even like with like Akechi being a villain. But in Royal, they added a confidant with him, and throughout you can see the Crow personality and even the Loki personality, like, of him. And those are technically both his true personalities. It's not like, yeah, Morgana brings up that his whole personality was a fake, but at the same time, that's the personality he sees as like a hero of justice. And at the same time, that's the personality he sees as Loki. So this guy like has this, you see both the Crow and the Loki personality, like his whole hero of justice thing. And that is a true personality, by the way. That is not like, yeah, he was being fake to the world, but he doesn't like Shiro. Don't get it twisted that he likes Shiro. It's obvious he hates adults that are terrible people. And then you have the Loki personality where he's like doing the mental shutdowns and stuff. He was really good as a villain. But when he in the Royal trio, like in Royal, he is just on another level. The reason I say that is, so a lot of the Persona characters are always like, I mean, not these guys, and probably not these guys too, but a lot of the P3, P4, and P5 Persona characters are like the villain or the enemy or someone to have a sad backstory. They'd be like, oh, damn, man, we understand, man. Like, that's what happens with Maruki as well. Like, Maruki would have his reasons, and all of these guys would be like, damn, yeah, man, we try. I mean, I guess Joker is you, so, but like, all of these guys would be like, I kind of understand where he's going. I kind of get. And Akechi's like, bro, do you want... Okay, if you understand Maruki, let's pack up our bags and leave. If you really don't want to stop him, let's leave. Let's pack up our bags and leave this area so we don't really... Like, let's live in Maruki's reality. Or Maruki will bring up his reasons as to what he's trying to do. And Akechi will be like, hey, man, it's like, nah, nonsense. And also, here's the thing. Akechi calls Maruki out for a lot of things, and Maruki does not deny them. He's like, I knew you'd say that. He just argues them. He never denies them. And throughout the game, you also look at Maruki as a character. Let's talk about him a bit. Is that Maruki is a hypocrite. The game does not, I feel like the game doesn't even hide the fact that Maruki is a hypocrite because here's the thing. If you're talking about happiness, why is Shiro in jail? Now, a lot of people make the argument that he was in jail because his heart was changed and stuff like that. So he deserves to be there. Alright, then Yusuke is allowed to be happy with his sensei. But why is his sensei not in jail? Because his heart was changed too, right? And where's Kamoshida? I know the game doesn't show it, so maybe he's out there. And where's Kaneshiro? So the question is, when your ideology is making everybody happy, where are everybody? And at the same time, Akechi also points this out, like not the happiness part, which I point out, that's not, but Akechi points this part out, is if you think about it, what he did with Sumire is actually wrong, right? Now, Akechi brings out that he just is trying to make people happy by what they want. But at the same time, that's like completely makes you a puppet. Because on one hand, you're like being told, hey, you get what you want. But at the other hand, you don't have the control over your life. That's the problem. Like, a lot of these characters developed into something because they had control over their life. Now they don't. And what Maruki did with Sumire, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call, like, people say Maruki is a broken hero, he's not a villain. Yes he is. He's a therapist. He should understand the issues that you need to find the root cause of someone's problem. He saw Sumire come to him, and what he did, oh, you want to be like your sister? Alright, I'm gonna make your sister. If you can change reality, why didn't you bring Kasumi back? And it's not like he couldn't do it. He did it for Makoto, Futaba, Haru. He did it for them. But he didn't do it for Sumire. Like, obviously when he first met Sumire, he couldn't do it. Like, yeah. But afterwards, maybe you can make the argument. But no, the bad ending shows that she's still acting as Kasumi. So, where's the logic in that? And Akechi does point this out. He's just controlling everybody. What's happiness to him? He's a therapist. Find the root problem. And here's my question. So he changed Makoto's cognition to bring his dad back. Sure. And you can make the argument Makoto was really young, so she didn't know her dad. Right? Oh, she didn't know her mom. So yeah, her mom wasn't brought back. He also changed Sai Nijima's cognition. Where's the mother? Sai, you're telling me Sai just coped up with her mother's death? Like, her mother was not that important? Like, just saying. And let's talk about Yusuke. Maybe he was young, so he forgot about his mother. But, like, we see him talk about his mother all the time. We see, like, he's cherry-picking what others are saying. He's going to their cognition individually, yes. But he's just cherry-picking what others are saying. He's not fixing the root problem. The problem, like, he's not fixing the root cause. He's just like, hey, like, you want this? Sure. I'm sorry. This is just too much. Like, the only one that, like, makes sense is, like, Ryuji, like, these three, and Futaba. Like, he just, and I guess Haru somewhat, though I feel like there's some here and there. But, like, come on. They could have done, I'm sorry. Like, I think Akechi pointing it out to Maruki was, like, where I feel like, okay, Akechi was a really good character. And he, like, calls out the stupidity that the main character and the heroes do in the fan of these two. But, alright, my Randigas. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Click on notification bell. Hope you enjoy. Consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Also, tell me in the comments if you've played all these Persona games, their best characters. If you have only played 1 or 2 or 3 or some Persona games, tell me their best characters in the comments below. I'm looking to stop recording. Bye.